Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. A timeless tale, isn't it? It's a story that has captured imaginations for generations. We all know the image: a little girl, a curious rabbit, and a world turned upside down. But what is it about this whimsical story that continues to resonate with readers young and old? Perhaps it's the fantastical creatures, the nonsensical situations, or the sheer absurdity of it all. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something a little deeper. Could it be that Alice's journey through Wonderland is a metaphor for the complexities of the human mind? A whimsical exploration of mental health, if you will. Think about it. The White Rabbit, always late, always anxious. The Mad Hatter, with his chaotic tea parties and nonsensical ramblings. Even the Queen of Hearts, with her explosive temper and penchant for beheadings. These characters, as outlandish as they may seem, can be seen as representations of the various facets of mental illness. The anxiety, the mood swings, the paranoia, all wrapped up in a delightfully absurd package. Our journey begins, as all good adventures do, with a fall. Alice tumbles down the rabbit hole, leaving behind the ordinary world and entering a realm where logic is suspended and the impossible becomes possible. Ah, the White Rabbit. A creature of habit, always in a hurry, always muttering to himself about being late. I'm late, for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late. His frantic energy is almost palpable, isn't it? He's the epitome of anxiety, a whirlwind of nervous energy trapped in a perpetual state of panic. His constant fidgeting, his obsession with time, his inability to slow down, all classic symptoms of someone struggling with anxiety. He's a slave to his own internal clock, constantly racing against a deadline that only he seems to be aware of. Some scholars suggest that the White Rabbit might be suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, characterized by excessive and persistent worry about a variety of things. Others propose that he might be grappling with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, his obsession with time and orderliness pointing towards a need for control in a world that feels increasingly chaotic. Whatever the diagnosis, one thing is clear. The White Rabbit is a character who resonates with anyone who has ever felt the overwhelming pressure of anxiety. Now, let's move on to the Mad Hatter, shall we? With his mismatched clothes, his nonsensical riddles, and his penchant for throwing chaotic tea parties, he's a character that embodies eccentricity. But beneath the surface of his whimsical madness lies a potential treasure trove of psychological insights. Some argue that the Mad Hatter exhibits signs of schizophrenia, a chronic mental illness that affects a person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly. Others propose that he might be dealing with bipolar disorder, his manic episodes characterized by heightened energy, racing thoughts, and impulsive behavior, while his depressive episodes might manifest as withdrawal, sadness, and a lack of interest in activities he once enjoyed. And then there's the theory that the Mad Hatter is simply a highly creative individual, his eccentricities a testament to his unique way of seeing the world. Whatever the interpretation, the Mad Hatter serves as a reminder that mental illness can manifest in a myriad of ways, and that what we perceive as madness might simply be a different way of experiencing the world. Now, where does Alice fit into all of this, as she journeys through Wonderland encountering these eccentric characters and navigating their unusual behaviors? Alice becomes our guide, our relatable entry point into this world of psychological exploration. She approaches each encounter with a mix of curiosity and confusion, trying to make sense of the nonsensical and find logic in the illogical. In a way, Alice's journey can be seen as a crash course in navigating neurodiversity. She learns to adapt to different communication styles, to embrace unconventional perspectives, and to challenge her own preconceived notions of what is normal. When the Mad Hatter offers her tea, she doesn't judge his chaotic tea party etiquette. She simply observes, adapts, and tries to understand. Through her interactions with these characters, Alice teaches us valuable lessons about empathy, acceptance, and the importance of meeting people where they are at. She shows us that it's okay to be confused, to ask questions, and to challenge our own assumptions. One of the recurring themes in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is the concept of time. From the White Rabbit's obsession with being late to the Mad Hatter's never-ending tea party, time seems to hold a different meaning in Wonderland. It's fluid, unpredictable, and often nonsensical. This distorted perception of time could be seen as a reflection of the way mental illness can affect our own experience of time. For someone struggling with anxiety, time can feel like a relentless pursuer, every second ticking by a reminder of deadlines, obligations, and the fear of falling behind. For someone experiencing depression, time can feel stagnant, each day blending into the next, a seemingly endless cycle of sadness and apathy. Alice's journey through this topsy-turvy world of time reminds us that our perception of time is subjective, influenced by our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Let's revisit the Mad Hatter's Tea Party for a moment, shall we? It's a scene that perfectly encapsulates the chaotic and unpredictable nature of social interactions, particularly for those who struggle with social anxiety. The constant interruptions, the nonsensical conversations, the pressure to conform to unwritten social rules. It's enough to make even the most socially adept person feel a little uneasy. For someone with social anxiety, this scene might feel all too familiar. The fear of saying the wrong thing, the self-consciousness, the overwhelming urge to escape, it's a battle fought on a daily basis. The Mad Hatter, with his eccentric behavior and disregard for social norms, can be seen as a representation of those who don't fit neatly into society's expectations. Alice, with her initial confusion and eventual acceptance of the Mad Hatter's eccentricities, embodies the empathy and understanding that is crucial for navigating social situations with those who experience the world differently. And then, there's the Queen of Hearts, the tyrannical ruler of Wonderland, known for her explosive temper and her penchant for ordering executions for the slightest offenses. Off with their heads! Her catchphrase, delivered with chilling nonchalance, speaks volumes about her lack of emotional regulation and her tendency towards aggression. While it's important to avoid diagnosing fictional characters, the Queen of Hearts' behavior does raise some interesting questions about anger, power, and control. Her outbursts, often triggered by seemingly insignificant events, could be seen as a manifestation of underlying issues such as stress, trauma, or even a personality disorder. Alice's interactions with the Queen, while initially marked by fear and confusion, eventually evolve into a form of resistance. In doing so, Alice teaches us the importance of setting boundaries, asserting ourselves, and refusing to be subjected to the whims of those who refuse to manage their anger. The Queen of Hearts catchphrase, "off with their heads," can also be interpreted as a metaphor for the way society often treats those who are perceived as different or mentally ill. The fear, the misunderstanding, the tendency to ostracize and punish. It's a sad reality that many people with mental health challenges face on a daily basis. Alice's journey through Wonderland, with its cast of eccentric and often misunderstood characters, highlights the importance of challenging stigma and promoting understanding. By approaching each character with curiosity rather than judgment, Alice shows us that it's possible to connect with people who experience the world differently from us. Alice's adventures in Wonderland can be seen as a celebration of individuality and neurodiversity. In a world that often values conformity and normalcy, Wonderland embraces the weird, the wonderful, and the downright bizarre. Each character, from the White Rabbit to the Mad Hatter to the Queen of Hearts, is unique in their own way, their quirks and eccentricities contributing to the rich tapestry of Wonderland. Alice, through her journey, learns to appreciate and even embrace these differences. She doesn't try to change the characters she encounters or force them to conform to her own expectations. Instead, she accepts them for who they are, recognizing that their differences are what make them special. "We're all mad here," declares the Cheshire Cat to Alice. It's a simple statement, but one that carries a powerful message about the universality of mental health challenges. In Wonderland, madness is not something to be feared or ostracized. It's simply a part of life, an inherent aspect of the human experience. Alice's adventures, with their whimsical exploration of mental health themes, encourage us to break down these barriers and start talking more openly about mental health. By normalizing these conversations, we can create a more supportive and understanding environment for those who are struggling, reducing stigma and encouraging people to seek help when they need it. So, there you have it. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. A whimsical exploration of mental health, disguised as a children's story. It's a story that reminds us that it's okay to feel lost, confused, and even a little bit mad sometimes. It's a story that encourages us to embrace our differences, to challenge stigma, and to start talking more openly about mental health. And perhaps, just perhaps, it's a story that can teach us a thing or two about ourselves, and the world around us.